Hey guys, I'm going to start this video talking to both Eagles and Monsters about head manning the puck. What that means is before we get into the offensive zone, if you see teammates ahead of you, you pass it forward. Nobody skates faster than a moving puck, no matter how good you are. If this player has the puck and you see teammates ahead of you, you give it to them as long as they're open. What we don't want to do is just have one kid skate it all the way up 150 to 200 feet and try to score a goal on his own. And I will tell you why. All right, going back to this, I listed the 5 guys who probably can do this pretty easily or regularly. I know you guys can skate it up, but I'm going to tell you why you want to try to implement some passing into your game. I would say Misha and Mateo, you two are especially guilty of just doing it on your own. Alright, so let me pull this up. Why can't you just skate it up? So first of all, it builds bad habits. You're not going to get away with this at higher levels because the defense just gets too good. Let me pull this. We played against a guy. Hold on, let me find him right there. This guy with the green socks. All right, she's probably the best player on the ice. Maybe Matthew's as good as he is. I'm not sure. But this guy would just stuff us every time they try to get up the ice. Now imagine playing a team and you have like 3 or 4 of those. You will never be able to carry it all the way up by yourself. All right, next, let me explain how these rec leagues work. Basically, you get the best players, like the top 4 or 5 guys on each team, and the goalie, and whoever is better wins the game. All right, big brain, right? Big brain move. Well, as you get better, you're going to start learning it's not about individual skill. It's about team play. My own team in a rec league game, the other 8 players, it's a 4-on-4 league because it's roller. But the other team was way better skilled. All 8 players were better than our 8 guys. But we smashed them 6-1 because every one of those guys tried to just go 1-on-4, 1-on-2, 1-on-3. And we would just stuff them. We would stuff them. We passed it up. We knew where to be. And we beat them like easily because our team play was way better. Even though the other team's individual skills were better. For us, Eagles. We are 3-0, but we just played a pretty good team, and there's 2 more tougher teams. If we try to play the same way, where we're just skating it 1-on-5, we're not going to beat the other teams because the other teams are going to do it better. So we have to start getting the team better. Next, related to that, the team does not improve. The other guys get less puck touches. They're just kind of standing on the ice. They're just watching you skate all the way up and scoring goals. Lastly, it's not fun playing with a puck hog. I remember we had a player sub in my team, my own game, and he would score 3 goals and we won or whatever, but it didn't matter. It wasn't fun playing with him, and he also would take these long shifts, so I never invited him again. It's not fun playing with guys who just want to puck hog all the way instead of getting the team going. Now, I want to emphasize to you 5 guys, and like I said, I think I should include Preston because he tries to kind of puck hog it sometimes, but to you 5 guys, I know you can skate it up, and I'm not saying you should never skate it up. What I'm saying is if your teammates are open and they're in front of you, you got to pass it up to them. If there's no passing option, then you skate it up. Right? In other words, it should not be your default. Hold on, I have some notes here. And this goes to everyone. But as soon as you get the puck, you should be looking to pass the puck first. It's not skate, 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 skate. Oh, I'm in trouble and now I better pass. No, it's the other way around. You get the puck, you look for a pass immediately. If the passes are not there, then you skate. Right? You skate after you look for a pass. Now, you receivers also have a responsibility. In all fairness to those puck carriers, if you guys are not in the proper positions, like if you're standing in the middle of the ice and not the board, they shouldn't headman it to you. It's too dangerous. Or if your feet are not pointing up the ice, I'll explain that in just a sec, then there's no point in them headmanning it to you. So if I pull this up real quick. In general, I see a lot of you. Your feet are pointing this way. And we're skating forward. If they've headman it to you, you're still skating this way. Then you have to stop, and then you have to turn around, then skate up. By then, it's faster if they just skated it up themselves. All right? I'm not saying you should never have your feet pointed this way. Sometimes you do when you're feeling pressure right there and someone's right on you. But a lot of times when nobody's on you, your feet need to be pointing this way. So that way, when they pass it to you, you're going forward still. Now, for you puck carriers, I get that sometimes your teammates don't have a lot of speed going up the ice, but one thing I want you to get in your mindset is to give and go. That means you pass it to them and they don't have a lot of speed, you jump in and try to get the pass back from them. That's a great way to go up the ice, and it's so much easier because the other teams are always just staring at the puck. And this is a great way to get your teammates involved. It gets them better, and it's still a way for you to skate up, and it's easier. There's so many reasons why you should be doing this as opposed to just skating it yourself. There are risks with it, which I'll discuss in the future, but just get the mindset of trying to give and go instead of dangling through guys. I want to re-emphasize that I'm not saying you can't go coast to coast, but that should not be a default. It should be to pass first. Now I'll show highlights on when you guys did it, when it's okay and when it isn't, and more importantly, for the receivers, where you need to be so that they don't have an excuse to just always skate it up now. All right, for Eagles, so I'll go over highlights of these, and if I have time, I'll cover some stuff about faceoffs that are related to headmanning the puck. All right, start here with Eli with the puck. Now she'll skate past. Hold on, I'm going to pause at a certain point. So it's already skating up. You have a headman right here. Now, unfortunately, Borba, you do this a lot. You need to have your feet pointing this way, especially when nobody around you. All right, but he should have headman anyway. You can headman. Oops, hold on. There you go. You can headman and just have him pass it back to you. If this player, because this is very likely she's just going to go to him. And if you do that, you actually have a breakaway. But instead, I see this a lot. You skate past 1, 2, 3, 4 of your teammates. All 4 of your teammates. And you'll see here, you just get stuffed at the end. And Jake, you don't want to skate towards him. You should probably stay in that space. And then you'll see Misha kind of take his turn and do it. This is what all teams do, basically. Right? In all fairness, we're making a line change, so I can't blame you guys completely for that. But yeah, this is what all teams are trying to do. It's silly, really. If we do it better than they do, we are going to crush them. All right, next, we'll see Owen here. Owen, I do like that you're carrying the puck up a little bit more. You're handling it. But you want to know when and how to do it. And I also need you to headman when it's there. So you see him get the puck. And yeah, it's a little bit scary for me. Alright. So I know you always want to play D. So like you can headman it there. If, like a split second before that. But you can also pass to Kaloha or Patrick. So Owen, I know you always want to play D, but if you can understand when to headman it, if you can just move the puck up quickly, I will gladly put you on D. But you gotta learn to do that and be responsible with it. Alright, Sharon, Matthew just picked up the puck. First instinct should be to headman. Now there's a couple problems though. Alright, now I don't even know if you're looking for the headman, but even if he was, Owen, you have to be facing the puck. If you're not looking at him, then I don't think he should pass it to you. And if your stick's not down, I also don't think he should pass it to you because he won't know if you're ready. All right, so unfortunately, it's happened kind of like a bonehead offside. So let's try to cut these two. We had a lot of those last season, and we're having a couple this season with London. But so both two-way street, right? Like I don't blame him at all for not headmanning. You guys have to be ready for it too. All right, I like this example a lot with Eli here, as he retrieves the puck. Before you retrieve the puck, you should be doing a shoulder check to see if your teammates will be in the right position. But this is good. Puck retrieval, go back. As soon as you go back. So this is where if you could just shoulder check beforehand. You need to be feeling, quote unquote, feeling a couple things. One player needs to stagger. That's probably Matthew. You need to be down here. All right, 2, we need wingers on the board here, and 1 behind you, so you can just backhand pass it. So those are the things you're checking for automatically when you retrieve this puck. Okay, so you have no stagger. You have this option is not there, but you do have this one. That one's there. That's where you need to headman it. All right, automatic. Instead, it's just skate. Okay, I'm gonna try to beat him. And you're gonna see, oh, okay, Mr. Travel Player picked you off, and then this ended up being a goal. All right, so just a simple thing right there. If you just rim it right away, right here, when Kaloha is ready. Like, even if they mishandle it, that's how your teammates are going to get better. And then Matthew can kind of act as a center, too. If you rim it, Matthew can just help him right away, and we might even have a breakaway. Now, this example is great because it's like an exact copy. But it's a little bit better. So you go back, again, shoulder check before you get the puck. Boom, you have all 3 options here. You have your D to D stagger, perfect. player on board, player on board. Well, is that London? Make sure you're not 2 feet or 5 feet off the board, please. You should be on the board. And in the future, we'll even use the center option if we get good at it. So these are things you want to be looking for as you're already retrieving the puck. And unfortunately, I don't know if you're trying to handle it or you just messed it up. Just one extra note I want to say. After he takes it, you guys need to collapse in the middle immediately. You are not helping on the board anymore. And if we get it back, then you go back to the board. Right, this one's a very good example of headmanning the puck, something simple. I notice you only do it to Matthew, though, but you got to do it for your other teammates, too. And that basically leads to a breakaway because you headman it. Simple as that. And unfortunately, he didn't make the breakaway. Now, here's one with Misha. He'll get the puck. Alright, so we got a player not on the board. Board was sort of on the board, but that option is taken away for now. Alright, Manny should go behind the net to stagger, please. D to D stagger. So, you guys aren't giving him a whole lot of options here. Now, Borba is an option, but he's the only one. But, now that he's skating up, Borba, you need to start going up the ice as well. You need to start moving. You don't just stand like a block, okay, guys? I know I tell you, butt on the boards, but once they move up, you need to move up. If they have to go back, you move back with them too. So just something to keep in mind. So in this case, Misha really has no reason to headman. Like if he passes to you right there, it's going to take longer for you to go up, to receive it, turn around, go up, than Misha just carry it up himself. Alright, interestingly, this is a case, Matthew, I don't want you to headman it, and I'll tell you why. So as you go up here, I'm going to pause right here. So if you pass to Callista, you can have 2 black jerseys right on her. If you pass to London, you're not making too much of a headman. That's like barely a forward pass. Now, if he was skating much faster than you, that makes a lot of sense. But at this point, it's faster for you to just skate it in. So in this case, this is exactly when I want you to carry it in instead of headmanning it. Alright, here, Eli with the puck. Right, and one thing, Julia, you got to stagger. You need to go behind Eli here. You don't move up with him. Right, at this point, you have London here. Even though London's not on a board, so London, you gotta be more towards the board here. That would be a better pass, but it's still open. You can pass it to him, and then jump in and have London pass it back to you. All right, with that said, I'm glad you at least headman to Matthew, which you guys always seem to do. I think this results in a goal. We got away with the offside, by the way, right there. All right, here, Misha just took the puck away. And this is where you get your head up to look for a pass immediately. You give it to Julia, like right here. You bank past that. She may or may not have a breakaway. Yeah, they might catch her. But what you want to do is right after you pass it to her, like even if they catch her, because they're all just going to follow the puck. That's what everyone always does. Misha, that's where you can just get the pass back from her. And then that would make things so much easier. So much easier. Right? But the first instinct, it's got to be headman it. And now they're all just going to collapse on you. Okay, here's the last one with Eli. So you get the puck. Okay, and then you're going to try to go... Oh, well, this is a good turn back. That is good play. And you should just gone behind the net, let your team set up. You have Patrick here, who's trying to hustle to the board. So you have to buy him time to do that. Well, again, the default, it shouldn't be, okay, skate up. Pass up 4 of my teammates. 1, 2, 3... Okay, and if you have to slow Matthew down here, like if Matthew just went at the same speed, you'd be offsides. If you guys have to, if the forwards slow down, you guys are doing something wrong, right? Both of you guys should be going in at the same speed. That means you probably should have headman it. All right, I'll go ahead and cover the face-offs real quick. Hopefully you guys have the attention span for a 20-minute video. So I'm not going to re-explain how to do the face-offs, but I'll just show the clips real quick. I'm going to do this rapid fire. Alright, so you win it back. Good job. Okay, Matthew, especially with your skill, instead of just skating up, throwing it away, curl back, D to D. Curl back, D to D. Borba, turn around. Please don't skate backward to the board like this. Alright, Misha, when we win it back to the D, your goal is not win it to D, skate all the way up. Win it to D, skate up. We don't want to do that garbage. Go back, play as a team. I'll show one more. I know that's kind of your default. It looks like he wins it back and you're just, boom, I'm going to skate up. I'm going to skate up. No. Let's go back and try to attack as a team. I know you can do it. You scored 3 goals like by just pushing right up, but I still want you to try to get the team involved. Right, and then I'll go ahead and show the one where you did score a goal. First, Manny wins Winston Manny. You should stagger back and think about passing it to your teammate. See, Kaloha is open, but you're not even giving him a chance. We're not going to get better this way. And yeah, you scored on this, but you play against better players, better goalies. They're going to stop that all day. But good goal, and you can score, but let's try to get the team involved. Pass it, get it back, maybe. All right, this one's pretty good. Watch this, guys. I'm going to back, stagger back a little bit, D to D. Now, one thing I want to mention, I don't want you guys to go wider and wider and wider. I want you to whatever, about 40 feet, about half rink distance. Remember, the width is 85 feet. But I want you guys to kind of move in tandem. So if Matthew starts going back this way, Eli wants you to kind of have the same distance. Don't widen more and more. Because what makes me a little bit nervous is if that pass right there gets picked off, okay? That's also why you stagger back. And then try to hit your wingers. If they're open on the board, they're going to the right place. Try to hit them. That's what we're trying to do. So pretty good D to D action, but then try to hit the winger after. And you ran out of time. Okay, now I want to cover a few in the defensive zone. Borba, you got to know your assignment here. It's surprising me because you back check harder than anyone I've ever seen. But for some reason, the forecheck, you're very passive. Off the face-off, all right? You guys are going after, well, I'm going to make it even easier. Whether we win or we lose, your first instinct should be to go up here somewhere. Right? There will be very rare cases where it's like they shoot it way into that corner. Then I suppose you can turn back right away. But whoever lines up here, you can cheat and just push forward right away. Right? You're usually trying to go here. And then if it goes back to us, then just curl back and go to the board. So you guys have a very easy assignment. You just jump right in. Not in, but toward the other point. So, like here, they went it back to her, and watch. Sit is kind of, well, he's supposed to be there. I want my D to stay back. You guys are just sitting there watching her, and then Sam Chen goes after her. That's your job, Jake. Go after her. I think, is that Kaloha or London? I can't tell. But your job is to go after the other point, right? Sitting still, that's Kaloha. Sitting still, jump up there. Act like you want the puck, guys. Move your feet, want the puck. Move your feet, want the puck. All right, same on this side, both Julia and London. London, I know you're kind of lost still. But Julia, you have no real reason to be back here. All right, so you reacted to go back. Okay, makes sense. But once you see it scored up, you shouldn't be skating way down here. You need to hit the brakes and just come right up here. London, that's you right there 100%. You should have been on that if you just... Oh, let me delete these. You should have been on that once we... you should already be charging in. Boom. You could have already been on the puck pretty much and then picking up speed to try to beat her. All right, especially Owen, you're always going back. You did the same thing Julia just did in the last clip. You're always going back. You got to stay put on that board because, as you see here, so Eli gets it. Kaloha's trying to get to the board. Now, again, this player shouldn't be way down here. It should be up here. Okay, and then hooking to the board. And so Eli, this is where you could have rimmed it right away anyway. You could have rimmed it to Kaloha. Kaloha could have gave it to Matthew. Boom, perfect breakout. Right, and this works. You go 1-on-4, do it the hard way. And, you do score on the breakaway, but still, we're gonna try to use our teammates. All right, so that wraps up our video. Just to head back here, let's learn to headman the puck and to get in position to receive it as we're going up ice. And guys, we gotta know our face-off responsibilities. This is the easiest thing to do because it doesn't change. It's the same thing over and over. There aren't a bunch of crazy moving things. Yeah, just let's try to get these down, all right? All right, I'll see you guys real soon.